We're going to take a visit to Hawks Pond. This is a view that I've never seen before, so I know you haven't either. We're looking at it from the way we usually enter, from the southeast corner. Now as we fly over, you can see what a good sized area this is. I don't know if it covers 20 acres or so, and then from our view on the bench we're usually at, you can't see that there's just that small break or beaver dam there, and then over to the left, on the left hand side of the picture, there's another pond behind that, because this area is fed by springs, and so the water flows down from one to the other, and the beavers are always using that flow to stop it up and make a good pond so they can get back into any good timber they want to get into for their food. If we look at this, years ago, this used to be the wolves' main hangout. Before we started hanging out there, this was the place the wolves liked to be, and we'd hear them calling out there, and we went out there, we'd see multiple beds and tracks. And we look down there now, you look on top of that beaver dam along the edge right with the trees there, and you'll see there's a line in there, and the wolves have been traveling the top of the dam because it must have been a lot easier for them to travel that way. And as we come out here, we're gonna drop down, and this is an old homestead here in the corner. That's why it's a little bit open in there. And then when I have a few trails that came through that homestead, and that's usually the way we access the pond. And then we'd get along the edge, and we'd walk in the summertime. Of course, we walk right in the fall. We walk right on that dam, and you can see the tracks there where the wolves have been doing that. And as we head over this way, we're heading toward our really nice bench. And that's why it's called Hawks Pond, is because my late friend Hawk would go out there, and with the sun shining in on this bank like this, it melted the snow away, and he had a nice place to go out there and lay a pad down, and he'd take a nice nap. It's been many years, and I guess I've had his bench there for, 15 years now. But now as we head back, we're going to take a little shortcut. I don't have a trail through here, but you can see some of the terrain that is there, and you look down and you're going to see multiple. And a lot of these tracks you see, they're wolf tracks. Some are deer, but they've been covering that country pretty good. And we're coming across the rim of an old beaver dam there, and you can see the tracks across it. And we're going to come across here, and we'll be coming across the trail that heads out from the property. And as we get up into these areas, we'll come across this corner right here, all that white in this corner right there, that X you see, that's where one of my nice benches is. And then as we head up toward our north beaver pond that we'll be breaking out on to here shortly. You can see the tracks down there. One is our track going in. Here we are, we're getting up, we're going to be going alongside the beaver pond, and our trail, you can't see it because it's right down below there, but now as we come up, these little dots you see up there, that's us down there with the drone coming home. And it was way out over Hawks Pond, and he hit a button, and it just comes back to join us. And he always breathes a sigh of relief. We're going to get back to basics here and let the birds do the flying. And this male spruce grouse here is going to do what we call a flutter flight. They usually do this in the spring mating season, but these guys get repped up and fired up whenever there's a bunch of females in the area, and that's what's happening here this morning. It made that flight up there, and you notice in the slow motion there is no sound, but I'll show you later how it works. As I'm trying to get pictures of these, I'm walking around, and I think I got a good picture, and then when I look at it, look at that, a stick right through the eye. So I try another time, well, then we still got a few pine cones in there. So, and then the shot gets a little bit better, but you just keep shooting. And that's the nice thing about a digital camera, we can really burn up the film. And as the shots go on, I sort them out, and I like them better and better all the time. This one, nice quizzical looking, that'll be a nice one. And then finally a good tail flared out, and things are looking really good. But as I said, they do these flutter flights. Here's another shot of one coming up, and they virtually go like a Harrier aircraft. They can go straight up in the air, and when they come down, they can go straight down the same way and just drop right out of the air with those wings going. Even with the slow motion, you'll see that the wings they're going pretty good, and you can see the power behind them as he pumps up there and he lands. And I've had these twice. I've had these birds do this and land on my head because I'm standing out there trying to film and they're strutting around the yard. And to me, I guess, to them, I guess I'm just a post, and they see it as a good object to do a flutter flight up onto. Of course, when you got a camera in your hand, it's pretty hard to really catch that on film. But this is one of the things that makes them a really desirable bird to try to get with a camera when they're doing their antics. Now I've got a clip coming up here, and it's going to show you that when he fanned that tail and he did those things, you didn't hear anything, but that really can make a lot of noise, is what you're going to see here and here. When we head out for a ski to go different places, like say if we're heading out to Hawks Pond, this route north of the cabin is one that we run oftentimes, and so the track gets laid in pretty good, and so in your first maybe half mile or so is really a good track, but because it does get hard, but it's just a beautiful scene out there, and you can see here, and I've always wondered if, as David plays around with this drone, if we're ever going to spot a wolf back in those trees just kind of watching us go by. I know they're out there watching, and I got an idea if we keep this up, it's going to happen one day that there'll be one sitting back there in the snow. But this just gives you a good view of what our North Country skis are like up there as we head out amongst these trees, and we'll just head on over toward Hawks Pond right now, and we may have to break a little better trail as we get closer because we haven't been there yet, but we'll get her done. This is one of the little wildlife clearings that I cleared last fall. I noticed there's been nothing out here browsing. Everything's been off in the bigger trees right now. The goal today was to get this track laid in around the loop out to Hawks Pond, but the trail coming down through it. Thought it'd be rougher out here, but it's pretty wind blowing. It was not sinking in too deep. I was really pleased when I got over here. The snow had melted off Hawks Bench. No wonder he liked to come out here and take a nap. You can see how many BTUs are bottled up there in that little nook. Not too bad out here today. Must be about maybe 15 degrees. Sun shining is kind of nice, so still nice to come back though. See, there's still smoke coming out of the chimney of the cabin. I think I got some coffee left in there. These little birds are pine siskins. They're a North Country bird. Very important food for them is the coniferous trees, and when there's a poor crop of the cones, they'll come down and visit us in Illinois a lot, and even further south. But this year they've been very scarce in Illinois and places south because there must have been such a good cone crop that as we walk outside we can just hear these pine siskins in the trees most times. I've never heard as many pine siskins up in that forest as I have this year. During our stay, Jim took over the job of spoiling the gray jays. I think he did a pretty good job.